If you have ever worried about your memory or your long-term brain health, you are not alone. I think many of us, when we notice little lapses like forgetting where we left our keys or struggling to find a word, or when we forget why we came into a room, have a moment of worry that some decline might be setting in. And when you have seen someone you love go through dementia, those thoughts hit a little closer to home. For me, that was my grandmother. She lived with dementia for several years, and watching her lose little pieces of herself is one of the hardest things I have ever witnessed. And I certainly do not want to go down that road. Hi, I'm Valerie, a wellness nurse. I believe that no matter your age or current health status, that you have the power to take charge of your well-being and live a longer, healthier life. My goal is to share with you the knowledge and tools that will empower you to make that happen. So now it is no surprise that when we hear about apolipoprotein E, which is a gene linked to Alzheimer's, we start to wonder, should I get tested? Am I at risk? And is there anything I can actually do to protect my brain? Lately, I have even noticed ads showing up in my social media feeds offering apolipoprotein E testing or prevention programs costing upwards of $10,000. And while I understand that people are looking for answers, it made me want to step back and really dig into the science surrounding this, not just for myself, but also to help inform others. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what apolipoprotein is, what it means for your brain, and a little bit about what it means to your heart too. And most importantly, what you can do to reduce your risk of dementia, whether or not you ever decide to get tested. So let's start with the basics. Apolipoprotein E, or APOE, which is what I'll be referring to it as from here on, is a protein that your body makes to help transport fats and cholesterol through your bloodstream. It is part of how your body moves lipids around, and it plays a really important role in your brain, where it helps repair neurons and support overall healthy brain function. There are several different versions or alleles of the APOE gene that people can inherit. There are three main ones: APOE2, APOE3, and APOE4. Most people have APOE3, which is considered pretty neutral when it comes to health risks. APOE2 is less common, but seems to offer some protection, particularly against Alzheimer's. And then there is APOE4. This is the one that gets a lot of attention because it is linked to a higher risk of both Alzheimer's disease and heart disease. But it's important to understand what this really means. Having one copy of APOE4 does not mean that you are going to develop Alzheimer's. It means that your risk is higher. If you happen to have two copies, so one from each parent, your risk is a little higher still. But even then, it is not a guarantee. Many people with APOE4 live long, healthy lives without ever developing dementia. And many people who don't have APOE4 still go on to develop Alzheimer's. So it is one piece of the puzzle, but it is certainly not the whole picture. So before we dive deeper into brain health, which is the main focus of this video, I want to touch briefly on the heart because the connection between the two is stronger than we often realize. APOE doesn't just influence brain function, it also plays a role in how our bodies handle cholesterol and fats, which directly affects cardiovascular health. People who carry APOE4 tend to have higher levels of LDL cholesterol, which is the type more likely to contribute to atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque inside the arteries. Over time, this plaque can harden and narrow the arteries, making it harder for blood to flow through. When this happens in the arteries that supply the heart, it increases the risk of coronary artery disease, which can lead to chest pain, heart attacks, and other serious problems. So if you are carrying APOE4, the risk of developing coronary heart disease can be higher, especially if other risk factors are present, like high blood pressure or poor diet. But just like with brain health, this risk is not set in stone. The choices you make, how you move, how you manage stress can have a huge impact in reducing the risk. So the things I will be talking about later on that protect your brain also protect your heart. When it comes to Alzheimer's, APOE4 is known as the strongest genetic risk factor for what we call late onset Alzheimer's, the kind that typically develops after age 65. APOE4 seems to affect the brain in several ways. It may reduce the brain's ability to clear out amyloid plaques, so those are the sticky proteins that build up in Alzheimer's disease. It can also lead to more inflammation and less effective repair of neurons when they are damaged. For someone with one copy of APOE4, their lifetime risk of developing Alzheimer's is estimated to be 2 to 3 times higher than someone without it. For those with 2 copies, the risk may be as much as 12 times higher. But again, this is not a certainty. There are many other factors involved, like your age, your lifestyle, your environment, and other genes that we are still discovering. Now, this is the question I hear a lot, and one that I have even asked myself: is it worth getting tested? The answer is not black and white. APOE testing is available, and for some people, it can be useful. It might help if you're already noticing some early signs of memory loss, or if you're considering joining a clinical trial or looking at treatment options that take genetics into account. In some cases, knowing your status might guide decisions around future planning or even motivate you to take action on your health. But for many people, testing can bring more questions than answers. APOE is not yet a diagnostic tool. It doesn't tell you whether or not you will get Alzheimer's. It just gives you a sense of your risk. Some people do find peace of mind in knowing, while others feel more anxious. And right now, there are not many specific treatments that change based on whether or not you carry APOE4. So the practical benefits of testing can be limited. What's more, the same steps that help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's in people with APOE4 are the same steps that prevent dementia and cognitive decline from all causes in everyone. You don't need a genetic test to start protecting your brain health. That being said, there are cases where testing may have more value. For those who are already showing early signs of dementia or mild cognitive impairment, knowing their APOE status might help healthcare providers guide treatment decisions more carefully. Some emerging Alzheimer's medications are being developed with a focus on early intervention, and in certain cases, APOE status may influence whether or how these drugs are used, especially in regards to potential side effects. But for most of us, the real question is not about testing. It is about what we can do with the information we already have. And the truth is, many of the most effective ways to reduce your risk don't require any genetic insight at all. Right now, the most powerful tools we have to reduce risk are lifestyle-based, and they really do make a difference. Whether you have APOE4, APOE3, or have no idea what your genetic makeup is. Eating in a way that supports brain health is one of the most powerful steps that you can take, no matter your age or genetics. 2 eating patterns that have been shown to really make a big difference when it comes to protecting cognitive function are the Mediterranean diet and the MIND diet. The Mediterranean diet is a way of eating that emphasizes a variety of colorful vegetables and fruits, especially leafy greens and berries, plenty of healthy fats like extra virgin olive oil and nuts, whole grains, legumes, and regular servings of fish, particularly fatty fish like salmon or sardines. It also includes just moderate amounts of dairy, like yogurt or cheese, and very limited amounts of red meat or processed foods. People who follow this way of eating tend to have lower rates of heart disease, and more recently, research has shown that it can help slow cognitive decline and lower the risk of developing Alzheimer's. The MIND diet, which stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay, combines elements of the Mediterranean diet with another heart-healthy eating plan called the DASH diet, but it is tailored specifically to support brain health. The MIND diet focuses on foods that nourish the brain, so things like dark leafy greens, at least 6 servings a week, and berries, especially blueberries, a couple times a week. It encourages whole grains daily, beans several times a week, and regular fish and poultry. Olive oil is the preferred fat. But just as important as what the mind diet includes is what it limits. So foods like butter, full-fat cheese, pastries, fried foods, and red meat are kept to a minimum because they can promote inflammation and contribute to plaque buildup in the brain. Both of these eating patterns have been associated with a reduced risk of cognitive decline, even for people who carry higher genetic risks. And the best part is that you don't have to follow them perfectly to see benefits. Even just moving your meals in that direction, so adding more greens, swapping in olive oil, choosing fish more often, can support your brain health in meaningful ways. Staying physically active helps increase blood flow to the brain and supports the brain's ability to adapt and form new connections. Getting good quality sleep allows your brain to clear out toxins, including those amyloid proteins, while you rest. Managing stress helps reduce inflammation in the brain, which can damage brain cells over time. And keeping your mind engaged, so like learning new things, staying socially connected, and having meaningful conversations, can all help build cognitive reserve, which is your brain's ability to stay strong even in the face of changes. And all of this ties back to heart health too. Keeping your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar in healthy ranges not only prevents cardiovascular disease and heart attacks, but it also helps to protect your brain. You don't need a test to take action. The lifestyle changes that help reduce Alzheimer's risks also helps reduce the risk of other types of dementia, like vascular dementia, which is caused by small strokes or reduced blood flow in the brain. They also help with general cognitive decline, the kind many people experience as they get older, and they improve your mood, your energy, and your overall quality of life. While apolipoprotein E testing can give you some insight, it is not a crystal ball. Your genes are just one part of the story. Your daily choices, like what you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you manage stress, all these choices have a real, powerful impact. Understanding APOE isn't about fear. It is about recognizing that while genetics can play a role, they do not define your future. What matters most is knowing where you can make a difference. And the truth is, there is so much within your control. No matter what your genes say, the choices you make every day can have a powerful impact on your brain health. Whether you choose to get tested or not, know that you have the ability to support and protect your brain through simple, consistent actions. If you want help building those habits, and if you want to take care of your brain, your heart, and your whole self, check out my Thrive in 25 program. It is a simple step-by-step guide to creating sustainable wellness one habit at a time. There is a link with more info in the video description. If you learned something from this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel for more science-based wellness tips. It really helps me reach more viewers and lets me know what kind of content you want to see more of. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of your brain, and as always, please take good care of yourself.